Hi everyone, I'm Brooke and today we're going to be making some Australian native Christmas wreaths. So I've made a couple here to show you what we're going to do. I've made this one, which is an asymmetrical design, and on some hoops, some wooden hoops, which I got at my local craft store. I made a more traditional design as well, which is kind of the, goes all the way around, and then I've added a little Christmas ornament as well. And then I found this great star shape at the craft store, and I've added some dried leaves and a little kangaroo and Joey here. So that one could really go all year round because it has got the dried leaves on it. So the things that we're going to use today to make our wreath are a hoop, okay? Again, at the craft store, or you could even make one of these if you had some wire at home. You could make your own hoop. We're going to use some greenery. I've got some beautiful Australian natives here, and the great thing about Australian natives is that you look beautiful when you buy them fresh, but they're also amazing when they're dried. So they smell beautiful now, but they're going to dry out really well. I've also collected some sticks, some of my eucalyptus sticks, some dried leaves and things down here as well, and some Christmas decorations. So to get started, we're going to have our hoop, and we're going to start to plan out our design. So I would like to, as we've done on this one, put some sticks behind it. It kind of creates a bit of dimension, a bit of height, and it looks a bit more sculptural. So I think it looks really cool when we add in some sticks. So I'm just going to start raking away some sticks that have interesting kind of shapes. That's what you want to have a look for, some interesting shapes. Now I got these down at my local park, but maybe you've got some in your backyard that you could have a look at as well. Okay, I'm going to start off with these ones. Now, to stick them onto our gold hoop, we're going to use a hot glue gun. Now, a hot glue gun is, as you would imagine, very hot. So this is for grown-ups to do this part only, okay? So I'm going to think about my design. I'm going to do an asymmetrical design like the other one, and figure out how to apply my sticks in a really interesting way. So I think that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to start with the bottom stick, apply a little bit of our hot glue. You don't need very much. And then watching fingers very carefully, kids and grown-ups, hold it into place. Now if there's too much glue around it, you can always use a peg to hold it into place as well. So I'm going to do that now while I prepare the next one. So that's going to hopefully hold it on there while it begins to set. Can be a little bit tricky when we're using the hot glue. And it will sort of go from a translucent to a more of a pearly kind of finish once it's dried. Okay, let's stick a couple more on there. And the good thing when you're applying this hot glue is that you're kind of creating a little bit more surface area as well, which is going to be helpful when we're attaching the rest of our greenery. So holding that one into place as it dries. Excellent. Okay, so that's going to start drying there for me, hopefully, in a moment. And I'm going to take some more of my dried things that I have over here. So I've got this one that looks really lovely. Again, it's a really different texture and shape to the sticks that we've already got. So you want to be kind of creating lots of different dimensions for your wreath to create a bit of interest. So I'll just demonstrate one more time, adding on some of the dried foliage to our hoop. Now this is again very hot, so you need to watch little fingers and also grown-up fingers, because it can get very sticky and very hot. Okay, that's starting to apply itself there now. I have created one a little bit earlier because it does take time for things to dry on that, but you're starting to get the idea. So you start from the hoop, and then you want to create some height and then some thickness around here. So I've created one a little bit earlier that is all dried, and we're going to use this to get started. So I'm thinking about this asymmetrical line, which means it's just off center, okay? So I'm going to pop that down, and we're going to start thinking about our greenery. Now, I've got some beautiful eucalypt leaves here and some other Australian natives as well. So now what you want to do is start thinking about how to place those on. And you kind of do a little bit of a pattern first before we stick anything down, okay? So I've got 2 there. I think maybe a 3rd will be a good idea. So I've still got some over here. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got 3. Again, we want to maybe create some different dimensions. So we've got 1 crossing it over, okay, different heights here, 2 and 3. So we're getting like a bit of a crossing over feeling there. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. So I'm now going to grab some floristry wire, and this comes pre-cut. You could use any other kind of wire. If you don't have wire, you could use some ribbon. The good thing about the wire is though, is that it's going to really hold things into place, because it can get a little bit tricky once you start putting lots of things on. So I'm just wrapping that wire around this lovely eucalypt, wrapping it all the way around so it's nice and strong and won't be moving, hopefully. Like I said, this can be done with ribbon or some other wire that you've got at home. The floristry wire is just at any kind of local craft supply store. Once it's in the wire as well, you can start to adjust it so it works a little bit better for you. Now we're going to add another layer and a little bit more interest into our beautiful wreath. So I've already pre-done these ones. I've wrapped a little bit of the wire around it so it's a bit easy to maneuver, okay? So I'm now going to place these that I've already wrapped in an interesting way. Okay, I think maybe if I do one this way and another couple down there, that could start to look pretty cool. Okay, so let's take that design and using the wire to wrap into place. And you might want to get another one if it's feeling a little bit wobbly or not too secure. You can just grab another bit of wire and wrap it right around. Beautiful. And the ones at the bottom. And another one there. So you can really look at any kind of design that you would like with your wreaths. You can look at the asymmetrical design, which is the one that we're doing, or you could do a wreath that goes all the way around. You could do something with just dried leaves. I really like to collect dried leaves, so that one will last all year, and then you could use it again next year if you wanted to. Okay, now those ones are pretty secure. I might use one more just in case, because we don't want it falling off our front door. Wrapping it all the way around so it is nice and secure. So as you can see, we've really started to layer these textures on to create this design. Okay, now for the last one, I'm going to use this big flower, which is going to kind of be the centerpiece of our design. So I want to find a really good spot for it, probably right in the middle. What do you think? Something like that? Okay, and again, I have pre-coiled my wire on there so I can just wrap it around in the right spot, nice and securely. There we go, how's that feeling? Maybe one more bit just around the neck. We can make those cuts. You won't need all of it, just enough so it doesn't droop too much. And again, all of these flowers are going to dry really beautifully, so you could make one this week and it will last all the way up until after Christmas. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, that is definitely held in there. Now, once we put all of our greenery on, it's time to do a couple of little embellishments. So, I've got some ribbon here, and I also have a little Christmas tree, and I found these little Australian animals that had some Christmas ornaments. Maybe you've got some old Christmas ornaments at home that you might like to use, or something like this looks really cute as well. So I think what I'll do is use this very sweet echidna and this really lovely ribbon. So I'm going to take the ribbon around the center. It's just going to kind of hold the whole thing together. I like the colour of this one because it really is reflective of those Australian natives, but you can use whatever you like. If you've got something lying around the house, that's a great idea because it's excellent to recycle those things. There we go, almost like a little tie on there. And then I'm going to use my hot glue gun one more time. Again, this is for grown-ups only, the hot glue gun. And grown-ups, you need to watch your fingers as well, because it is easy to burn them. Okay, and I'm going to pop a little echidna just under there and hold him in place for a couple of seconds, and it should start to take. All right, now that is the complete design of our Australian Christmas wreath. The last thing that we want to do is create a little loop of ribbon so that we have a spot to hang it on the front door. So I'm going to pop mine just here. We just go underneath and loop it around, and then you can pop a little hook on your door. Okay, I think our echidna is mostly on there. Let's take a look. Okay, so there we go. That's our Australian native Christmas wreath. And it should last you all the way till Christmas, and the flowers will dry out, so really you could even use it next year if you wanted to. You could just update a couple of flowers if you like. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's craft. I would love to see what you do, so please make sure you tag us in all of your videos.